Contract or full time? That is the topic of today's video. Now, a lot of people are asking me about what is better, to have a contract job or a full-time job, and the answer is it depends. So, if you have a full-time job, you have benefits. You have stability. Unless you do something bad or the company goes out of business, most likely they'll keep you for a very, very long time. At least much longer than if you were hired on contract. Why? Because they hired you full time, because they see a future with you. They want you there for long term, not just for a day or two, for long term. So being hired full time means you get stability. You get benefits. You get healthcare, dental, vacation, time off, paid time off. You get lots of sick days. All of these things you don't get with contract. Third thing you get is moving up in the hierarchy. Over time, you could be promoted from being an analyst to being a senior analyst, or being a senior analyst to being a consultant, from being a consultant to being a manager, from being a manager to being a senior manager, then to being a director and a VP. You could even reach chief information officer, chief operations officer level. You could go up the hierarchy because you're part of the organization. You don't get those benefits if you are a contractor. You just don't. What do you get if you're a contractor? If you don't get stability, if you can't get promoted, if you don't get any benefits, you don't even get a 401k or a 401k match, what do you get? You don't get a bonus either. So what do you get as a contractor? Money. Dollar bills. You get to make more money. And if you don't get to make more money, then being a full-time employee is a lot better. So the way it works as a contractor here in the United States, stateside, is you, at the end of the year, fill out a 1099 form as a contractor. If you are a W-2 employee, at the end of the year, you fill out a W-2 form. Well, your employer does. Your employer does a 1099 or a W-2 form for you. If you're a 1099 contractor, you're not an employee. You're a contractor to them. So the benefit of being a contractor is that there's two main benefits. The two main benefits are this. You get paid more money. If a analyst gets paid, let's say, $90,000, usually a contractor gets paid at least time and a half or 2 times more. I've seen contractors make, compared to analysts doing the same job, $180,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $250,000 a year. It's quite common to make a lot of money as a contractor. The other benefit of being a contractor is a tax benefit. So if you are a W-2 employee, most likely, depending on which tax bracket you are in, you don't keep all your money. You keep 60 to 80% of it in most cases. So if your salary is $100,000, let's say you get $65,000 over the course of the year. If you're a 1099 contractor and you get paid, let's say, double that, $180,000 a year, you get all of it. All $180,000. You don't have to, nothing is deducted. No Social Security taxes, no Medicare, no Medicaid, no taxes are deducted from your check. Because most 1099 employees, 1099 contractors, they get paid through their LLC. If they're smart, and I'm telling you this, making this video so you become smart as a 1099 contractor, you would create your own LLC. And if you create your own LLC, that means you could write off a lot of expenses, and it also means that the employer is paying you to your company. It's a corporation to corporation payment. So they pay the corporation the full amount that they owe you. So if you worked 40 hours and you get paid $100 an hour, you get paid all $4,000, 40 times 100, all $4,000 every week. You get paid a lot of money. Now, What do you do with this money? First of all, the smart people have an LLC, and that means they write everything off. They write off their laptop. They write off their eating expenses if they have to travel for this job. They write off travel if they have to travel for this job. They write off the flight, the hotel, the rent-a-car, the Uber, the food that they have to eat. They write off part of their office as a business expense. You write off as much as your accountant lets you, so you pay less taxes. Plus, since you got paid the whole sum, the full sum amount, you could invest it. A lot of 1099 contractors, they invest their money. So an employee gets paid just 60 to 80% of their money. So let's say $65,000, and they live on that. You get, remember, as a 1099 contractor, you get all your money, but at the end of the year, in April of the following year, you still have to pay your Social Security and your Medicaid and other taxes. You just don't pay it now. You pay it at the end of the year, in April, whenever you do your taxes. So that means for at least 6 months to a year, you have access to that money. And what you could do is you could put it into a savings account in your bank, or you could put it into a money fund, or you could put it into a stock market, or you could put it in real estate. And that money that you would have paid in taxes would make money for you. Your money goes to work every day, takes a suitcase, and makes you money. So that's the benefit of being a 1099 contractor. You pay your taxes at the end of the year, and you get paid a lot more money as an hourly rate. So those are the two benefits of being a 1099 contractor. You pay your taxes at the end of the year, so you could invest your money to make more money for you, and you get paid a lot more money. However, so the question is, why wouldn't everyone be a contractor, a 1099 contractor? You get paid almost time and a half more, and you can invest your money, and all of that. That's great. The real answer is stability. There's no stability being a contractor, especially in IT, especially in if you work in sales or accounting. There's no stability because you're the most expensive part of the organization. You're $100 an hour in most cases, sometimes $150. So the first chance there's a layoff, guess who goes first? The 1099 contractors. Then it's usually by seniority. The junior employees go next, and then the mid-level employees, and then the senior employees go, if that gets to that point. But the first people part of a layoff, or as soon as a project is over, are 1099 contractors. And the problem with them is, in reality, what happens in the real world is they usually work only 6 months of the year. So they usually only get paid the same amount of money as an analyst. So if an analyst, or like a W-2 employee, so if a W-2 employee's salary was $100,000 a year, and a 1099 contractor was $100 an hour, which is $200,000 a year, they work 6 months of the year. So they only work 6 months, and they're home the other 6 months. But they make the same as a W-2 employee, $100,000. And they work 3 months, then they look for a job for 3 months, then they work another 3 months, then they may work another 6-week project. It just varies. Or they're home for 4 or 5 months straight in a row. Now that doesn't apply to everyone. The best 1099 contractors develop a relationship with someone inside the Fortune 1000 organization, because those are usually the ones that employ these folks for a long period of time. Small firms can't afford them for a long period of time, but they build a relationship, these 1099 contractors, with a IT director or a COO, and they build a strong relationship, so when they roll off one project in the company, they get put in another project in the company. And that is how they make a lot of money long term, $200,000, $300,000, because they're in the same company for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Not 2 months in one project, 3 months in another project, 3 months in another project. You really don't make that much money doing that because you're home a lot of the time. So if you want to be a 1099 contractor and make a lot of money, you need to develop a relationship with someone inside the organization, a higher up, that will give you other projects to work on once the project you're working on is over. That's how 1099 contractors make money in organizations. Most people can't make those relationships. It's really hard. And they try out, the keyword try, being a 1099 contractor, and after being on the bench, being unemployed for 2-3 months, they just take a full-time job. Because even though you can make a lot of money as a 1099 contractor, you're at home doing nothing for half the year. And even if you're good, you got to build relationships to be on a project for a long time. And many of them can't, and they just burn out. They do one project, they're on it for 3 months, another project for 4 months, and then they're home for 2 months, and they just can't take it. And then they're offered a full-time job, and they take it because there's stability in that. You have a PTO, you have vacation, you have stability of a paycheck, you have a 401k match, a 401k. All of this is not available to you as a 1099 contractor. So I hope I gave you a lot of ammo in this video to choose between being a 1099 contractor or being a full-time employee. It's up to you. There's no wrong answer. A lot of 1099 contractors, if they're really good and build a relationship inside the firm, could be there for 3-4 years and make as much money as if they were working at a regular firm they'd make in 8 years or 10 years. So it's very lucrative if you could stay at a company, stay on project for an extended amount of time, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So it's a good path if you could build a relationship. And if you can't, I recommend being a full-time employee and taking the stability. So thanks for watching. I hope this was useful. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It helps with the algorithms. And stay tuned for more videos for me helping you do amazing in your career.